Hi, I'm Jane Seal from the Open University, and I'd like to share with you an overview of an article I've just had published in the British Journal of Learning Disabilities. It focuses on how people with learning disabilities were supported to access and use technologies during the pandemic. And particularly what the article tries to highlight is some positives that we can take away and think about in terms of digital inclusion. And that's why I've called the article "It's Not All Doom and Gloom." So during the pandemic, when we had to stay at home, being able to use technology to keep connected with friends and family was very important to all of us, including people with learning disabilities. And I wanted to find out if people with learning disabilities were getting the support they needed to use technology during the pandemic. So what I did in 2020 was to interview 38 supporters about their experiences of trying to help people with learning disabilities use technology. And these supporters had a number of roles. Sometimes they were parents, carers, friends, paid support workers, teachers, as well as educational health and social care professionals. And when I was interviewing these supporters, they were sharing with me how difficult they found it to try and provide remote support to people with learning disabilities. And in sharing their experiences, they highlighted three particular barriers to using technology: cost, access, and environment. So cost was not just about the cost of devices themselves, but also about the cost of the data you need to have access to the internet and Wi-Fi so that you could have Zoom calls and WhatsApp chats and so on. There are also access barriers in terms of people with learning disabilities just not having access to the internet or Wi-Fi, or sometimes just not having access to devices. And there are also interesting environmental barriers. Sometimes the homes where people lived, like care homes, residential homes, supported living, and so on, were just not set up or designed in a way that made it easy for people with learning disabilities to use technology in the ways that they wanted to. But what was also interesting was that in talking to these support workers, they were sharing with me experiences and examples of how they managed to provide support and overcome these barriers that they were experiencing. And this was really positive in terms of supporting people to use technology during a difficult time. So I wanted to be able to describe what these support practices looked like so that we could learn from them and repeat them in the future, if you like. And what I found was that these practices, these positive support practices, could be really characterized as being possibility focused, focusing on, look, what's possible for us to achieve, rather than, oh, it's all impossible and we might just as well not bother. And so in the article, I describe and give examples of these possibility-focused support practices. And at the end of the article, I conclude that it's important for us to learn from the experiences of these possibility-focused support workers so that more people with learning disabilities can be supported to use technology and be digitally included beyond the pandemic. So I hope you read the article and enjoy it. Thank you.